Hi, my name's Steve. This is my all-wheel drive Silvia. I'm today's Haltech Hero.
There is something quite unique about this S15 Silvia. And no, I'm not talking about the hole in its headlight, or the rather familiar, yet distinctly not SR20 sound emanating from the engine bay.
I've always loved the S15s. I grew up around them. Yeah, it was an obvious choice. We worked with a lot of SRs, rear-wheel drive cars, S15s mostly and S14s. We just couldn't keep the power down. We had a dummy motor and box RB26 with a manual. We had a good clean shell to start off with, and we thought, let's just try it and see what we come up with.
Yes, you heard right. Steve decided to swap not just an engine out of an R33 GT-R, but the entire all-wheel drive system.
Being the person that I am, I'm very fussy, so everything had to be to the mill. But eventually, once we sat the motor in there, made a plan, and we just stuck with it and just flowed from there.
Of course, transplanting an all-wheel drivetrain into a rear-wheel drive car was never going to be a straightforward job, especially when a turbo 400 gearbox was added to the equation.
It wasn't all smooth sailing. We had issues finding some of the parts. The biggest one was the gearbox. Being a turbo 400 with the all drive conversion, there was a backlog. He was busy, and the car sat around for about a year. In saying that, he did give us a dummy box, which we continued the fab work and the firewall and the full drive transfer case, building around that.
The engine is based on an RB30 billet block with a Nitto 3.2 litre rotating assembly. Sitting atop the block is a CNC ported head with custom cams. Like all high-performance RBs, it's also dry sumped. Sydney-based Hypertune is responsible for the radiator, intercooler and piping, intake plenum, fuel rails and the airbox. The whole front end is removable, allowing quick and easy access to the engine bay.
The Hypertune exhaust manifold was a one-off. It was a bit tricky to get it down here with the turbo size we were going to use, but the boys there knocked it out of the park.
Steve originally installed a Precision 76-75 Gen 2 turbo, but quickly found it inadequate for his desired power output. He then upgraded to an 83-85 version, which bolted straight in and provided just the right amount of boost.
So we're using HKS cam gears. We're using Platinum Racing mechanical fuel pump setup, also with his trigger kit, top and bottom.
E85 fuel is supplied to the engine via 12-staged Bosch 1650cc injectors. To future-proof the fuel system, Steve also installed a flex fuel sensor. The ignition system uses R33 GT-R style coil-on-plug coils. The whole setup is controlled by an Elite 2500, wired in using Haltech's terminated engine harness. A full array of sensors, including EGTs, allows Steve to tap into the Elite's advanced features like traction control, launch control, boost control, race timer, and of course, engine protection.
The interior was always going to keep it looking stock, nothing extreme. I did have to add obviously the roll cage because I did want to race it. The seats are Tillet. They are full carbon. The reason why I got them is mostly weight. They weigh less than 3 kilos, and also they look cool. So we'll start with the shifter. It's a 3-speed B&M shifter, obviously for the Turbo 400. It's got the trans brake on this side. We've got the full drive controller here, which is a full race, standalone. And also got the nitrous activation, and through this little knob here, we can control how much percentage we want to go to the front wheels and to the rear wheels.
All the ECU data is displayed on the Haltech IC7 dash. Mounted just below the dash is a Haltech rotary trim knob, which allows Steve to switch between different preset boost settings on the fly.
And then we've got the button on the steering wheel. We can use it for a couple of different things. We use it for bump box, or we can also use it for anti-lag. So the plan was to keep all the factory interior, don't take anything out, obviously a little bit for around the roll cage. Door trims, panels, rear seats, carpets, windows go up and down. So yeah, it's pretty factory steering wheel. So it's pretty a factory in here besides the two carbon seats.
The same can be said about the whole car. I mean, put a set of stock wheels on it, and from a distance, you could easily mistake this for just another S15.
So the suspension I was going to do to last, only because I wanted to take it to the track first. In saying that, had 10 coilovers all around. I left the front ones in there. I bought $50 Rekka shocks in the rear, which is in there as we speak, just to have a feel of the car and see what they can do. And at the moment, they're doing great. The brakes are 33 GT-R Skyline, discs and rotors, DBA discs and pads. In the rears, same thing, Skyline, pretty much Skyline cradle in the rear. Diff, axles, brakes, the lot.
The 15x8 weld wheels are shod with Mickey Thompson 275 street radials. The brakes, like the rest of the drivetrain, come from an R33 GT-R and are supplemented with DBA discs and pads.
I still remember the first dyno run. The car was on the dyno. We're getting the car started for the first time, and the highlight would be the all-wheel drive system doing its magic. Just seeing all the four wheels turning was, it was a highlight, for sure.
Steve managed to take the car out in early 2020, just before the COVID restrictions hit. Incredibly, the car performed faultlessly, right from the start, giving Steve a PB of 8.7 at 155 miles an hour.
I never get tired of seeing people's reactions of when they realise it's got big tyres in the front. They're probably thinking, what an idiot. But yeah, it's a funny moment. We just stand back and watch them.
Building something unique is rewarding. Building something unique and fast is quite a feat. But ultimately, it's all about building something you love.
I just love it. Every time I get in it, puts a smile on my face.